2.5 years ago, I moved from Salerno to Palermo. And I've got to be honest with you, I was kind of banking on it being a bit of a long-term thing, because you don't need me to tell you just how stressful it is to move home, not to mention how expensive it is as well. But things have played out a particular way for us here in Palermo. And so in today's video, I'm going to share with you just why we have decided to leave this city and, most importantly, where we're heading to next. Now, life in Palermo isn't easy. I've been really honest with you over the past 2.5 years as to how challenging it can be here sometimes, but it can also be really beautiful. And so I've come at this from a balanced perspective in terms of demonstrating to you just what life can be like here. Because I have to be honest with you, I think it's about time that we got a bit realer, especially with Instagram and people who come here on holiday, and even people who come from Palermo but no longer live in Palermo, romanticising this city. Because the reality is, it is not easy to live here. And, you know, as much as we might have amazing food, incredible beaches, like beautiful architecture, when people are struggling to work here, when people don't have enough money in their bank accounts here, when people are rummaging through rubbish bins here, let me tell you, it doesn't matter about any of the other beauty that you might experience here. And this is why I've always tried to share with you the reality, because if you really want to make Palermo your home, you have to be aware that you might not find it as beautiful a city as the Instagram pictures represent. And so this is my kind of take on what it can be to live here. I feel like there are plenty of videos about Palermo. In fact, I'll put a playlist up here if you want to dive a bit deeper into what life can be like here. But it is an incredible city. And as much as it has its faults, like it's really dirty in places and chaotic, and, you know, there's a particular mindset and mentality here that I really struggled to adjust to. Even though there is that, and there seems to be this almost self-sabotaging mentality here where people try to do good by the city and improve things and make things better, and yet there's always somebody ready to destroy it. Even though there's that aspect, it is a really beautiful place to be. It's vibrant, it's energetic, it's pretty in places. And there's a certain energy here that I don't think I would ever experience in any other part of Italy. So it has been an incredible experience. And I will say that I do feel like I've been living inside of a spin dryer for the past 2.5 years. And it makes me feel like I've lived here for longer than I actually have. Like sitting here now and thinking about all of the experiences I've had, all of the personal growth and development that I've kind of gone through, it feels like I've lived here for at least 6 years. And that's a really special thing. But there is an ironic, complicated aspect to life here, in the sense that I moved here with my boyfriend, who comes from Palermo, born and bred. All his family and friends are here. And we came back because, of course, having lived outside of Palermo for a number of years, he wanted to return back to his roots and to be close to his family and friends again. However, the ironic part of the story is that he hasn't been able to find himself here, yet I have. And that just goes to show you how complicated life can be here. There are certain sectors and industries that are not well represented in this part of the world and are not performing as well as they are in mainland Italy. And so for this reason, we have taken the decision to leave Palermo, because as much as I'm doing well here, it's not right that we stay somewhere where my boyfriend cannot find himself, and we both deserve to do well together. And so we are moving to, drum roll please, the province of Salerno. I know, like, how funny, right? In the beautiful circle of life, the place I come from is the place we go back to. Now, I should say that we are actually looking at places in the province of Salerno. We will not be moving back to the centre, the city of Salerno itself, for a couple of different reasons. Firstly, it is extremely overpriced now, and unfortunately, because of the increase in tourism, there are a lot of homes now that are being let out on a transitory basis. So it's really outpricing local residents from finding places. Hence the protests in Spain, I get it. But also because I don't like to go back. Like, this has been a real challenge for me, because I am the kind of person that always likes to go forward and progress forward. I think when you go back to something, you go back with memories of a place or a situation being as you remember it to be. But often it isn't like that anymore because people, things, places change. And so that's why I always like to go forward, because I think sometimes when you go back, you are disappointed. But you see, by not going back to the city of Salerno, although we are going back to the province, we are going to end up having new experiences. And so for me, I feel comfortable with this decision because really the city of Salerno, I definitely had outgrown, which was what kind of led me to feel confident about moving here to Palermo. But going back, I'm going back a different person. Like, I'm very fortunate in that my work is confirmed. I get to keep my job, which is an amazing thing. And, you know, I go back with the kind of experience that living in Palermo for 2.5 years has taught me. And I have to be honest, I'm going back with a greater sense of appreciation than ever before. I've got something to compare Salerno to. When I first moved here, Salerno was the first city I lived in, and it was the only city I had experience of really on a long-term basis. And so moving here to Palermo gave me contrast, and it has given me the ability to recognize the things that I appreciate about Palermo, but also recognize the things that I appreciate more about Salerno, namely the cleanliness and the organization and the peace. So I'm going back with this kind of perspective. I'm almost in a way relieved that I don't have to do any more bureaucracy here in Palermo, because you all know the difficulties I had with bureaucracy started in this city. Back in Salerno, it was so organised, I never had a problem. So there's that kind of peace of mind that comes also with this move. But it's, in a way, ironic on so many different levels. Ironic that people that come from this city are not able to find themselves in this city. It's ironic that people who come from this city leave this city. It's ironic that there are industries that could thrive in Palermo, yet they don't. It's ironic that we are going back to the province of Salerno, where my whole journey began and where Salerno has always had a place in my heart, really. So this is the news. I kind of feel a bit like a catapult, and I couldn't think of the word the other day when I was sharing this news with some people that I know, and it's a catapult. You go back to go forward. And that's exactly what I feel like this is going to do for us. I mean, we are moving with a dog, we're moving with Tina, so this is going to be a whole new experience for us. And also, what else is going to be different this time is that we are looking for properties with cold connections. So what I mean by that is that for the majority of homes that I've lived in Italy, I've always known someone who has known someone. There's always been some kind of a connection that has led us to that house, which has made it in a way easier to find homes here. This is the first time that we are really going to have a cold connection. We are having to prove ourselves in the same way that you would have to if you plan to move to Italy, to gain the trust of landlords. And so I feel like this is going to give me even more of an insight so that I can help you more as to how to navigate this process. And so you can expect over the coming months some videos documenting the process as we prepare to leave, as we look for houses, as we do all of the things that we have to do. And especially so if you are a member of this channel. If you are a member of the Aperitivo Lounge or the Espresso Club, you will get even more behind the scenes insights into the move that could potentially help you with your very own move to South Italy. So be sure to check out the membership options if you haven't already. I'll put a link up here and also below in the show notes. But this is it, guys. We are leaving Palermo, but in a way, Palermo's always going to be in my heart too, and I will always be in Palermo because I have the extracts of my book that are a permanent part of the historical centre now. So in a way, it's really beautiful. I feel like in life, everything happens in the right way at the right time. And also everything happens to teach you something, for you to gain something from it. And that's exactly how I view my experience here in Palermo. I'll see you in the next video.